Remember this piece of crap? Well, I wish I didn't. So Professor Kuhtoons ended up taking down every single video on his channel, but he ended up re-uploading the video that I covered a few months back on Cosmodor's video on Ink Lemonade on his second channel, Professor Kuhtoonster. So I ended up watching this, though it's not as bad as I initially thought when I covered it a few months back. It's still pretty bad. Now I'll be skipping the first 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Because that's basically some points I didn't care to cover, as well as context that drags on forever and ever about how he had a Twitter feud with Cosmodor. Honestly, when I click on a video that's labeled as a Cosmodor commentary, I expect context, sure, but I don't expect it to drag on for so darn long. Because this takes up 1/3 of a 24-minute video. Because the video doesn't start until we are 9 minutes in. Honestly, the bit about the Twitter feud could have been published as its own video. Or you could have at least given a timestamp so the audience could skip over this. Finally, I know for a fact that Professor Kuhtoons will not watch this, seeing as how he rubbed off all the criticisms from my last video using the victim by association fallacy. However, I don't care whether he watches this or not, because I'm making this video for my own entertainment. With that out of the way, let's begin.
After the title card, we are instantly greeted with annoying Patrick screeching hooray! I guess we can scratch off speech impediment on a Patrick stupidity level bingo card. And I swear to God, they have dumped him down endlessly in this episode. Even in other ones of the same season where they went the route of overemphasizing his stupidity levels, he didn't look like a big pink monkey man as he does here. I thought that's what his sister is for anyway.
Oh yes, because how dare they have character designs that display his stupidity. Seriously, that's your complaint? That he looks like a big monkey man even though he is a stupid character? Fucking hell, man.
He was comparing Patrick towards a monkey to prove his point that Patrick was annoying. How did you miss this? Congratulations, you took one part of his argument and you blew it out of proportions. And before you say,
well, that was the point. Patrick was supposed to be annoying.
Like you did in your Phantom Strike response, I'm going to say the same thing that HS90 told Dollsmack. That may have been the point, but the writers made Patrick so annoying to the point where he started annoying the audience, aka Cosmodor. Being annoying is something that no one besides an internet troll wants to strive for. Also, I'll be skipping a point that I don't care to cover.
Because, of course, Patrick really does put this in his lemonade, not without even further grossing it out, of course, and ends up poisoning his first customer, which then goes on to barf into Squidward's house, which Squidward is not as unhappy about as I expected him to be honest.
Well, it's possible that Squidward didn't know that the guy who puked in his house threw up because of Patrick, so that might be the reason why he didn't yell at Patrick or display any anger to him.
Except for the fact that Squidward did yell and display anger. It just wasn't as much as Cosmodor expected. Hell, Cosmodor's own footage shows that Squidward was angry, so I have no clue where you're getting the idea that he didn't display any anger. Especially considering the fact that you admitted that you saw the episode toward the beginning of the video. Now, you could argue whether or not he's using the footage out of context to fit his own narrative, but you don't. Also, is there any reason why Squidward would yell at Patrick? Sure, Squidward can get overly pissed off at times, but he wouldn't yell at Patrick for no apparent reason whatsoever. So, this point is pretty much garbage any way you slice it.
SpongeBob, who is suddenly just kinda there, scares Squidward with a megaphone. A gag they have already used 3 times now, I should add, making Squidward pour ink into Patrick's lemonade. Yes, this is gross, especially considering it's coming out of Squidward's nose, but don't worry! It gets worse! Because SpongeBob and Patrick's second customer then drinks Squidward's snot water, instantly getting addicted to it.
Seriously? Is this what cartoon reviewers are bitching about now? Ink that doesn't even look that disgusting? Granted, it came out of Squidward's nose, but at the end of the day, it's just fucking ink. Is that really that disgusting now? Seriously? Are you fucking serious?
What one person sees as disgusting, another person may not. I thought this was common knowledge, but I guess millions upon millions of years of human evolution apparently didn't do much in the long run for society. And sure, I guess you could explain why it's stupid for him to find ink disgusting, but, well, you don't, apart from a crappy point that I'll get to later. So you're just giving your opinion without critiquing anything, and ridiculing someone for having a differing opinion like it's a sin. I know you're trying to be an asshole, but it has honestly become infuriating to the point where I want to click off the video. Heck, I'll even admit that I have a high tolerance to stuff that many people think is disgusting, like gore, but I'm not going to belittle the many people who think that gore is disgusting, just because they disagree with me. I guess that you're trying to say that Cosmodor is making a mountain out of a molehill, but he really doesn't sound upset. He sounds more monotone than anything else, which is what that would imply. And even then, Cosmodor was awfully vague as to why he found ink disgusting, just saying that it was without giving any reason as to why, besides the fact that it came out of Squidward's nose, of course, even though he said that the ink wasn't helped by the fact that it was coming out of his nose, which would imply that there were more reasons. So Cosmo isn't getting off scot-free either. Okay, post-Rebel here. When I was editing, I realized something. Kuhtoons was vague as all heck, basically just saying that ink isn't disgusting.
Because it's just ink.
Even though I could apply that logic to pretty much anything ever. For example, many people, myself included, hate cockroaches. But I guess they are no longer disgusting because
they're just cockroaches.
See what I mean? This is just dumb. It's just petty how he's going to get onto someone else's case for thinking something's disgusting, even though that's entirely subjective. And use backwards ass logic that could be applied to literally anything ever, while being vague at the same time. Are you guys starting to see why I can't stand this video?
For fuck's sake! Sponge Out of Water had a scene where Squidward wets himself, and the liquid is also ink. Is that scene a problem now? I am legitimately curious about this shit.
Devil's advocate. My favorite! What if he just didn't like the execution of the scene? After all, the scene is completely different in execution from the one in Ink Lemonade, seeing as how no one is getting stained teeth in that scene. Stains disgust people, you know. And correct me if I'm wrong, for I've never seen Sponge Out of Water, but this just looks like a small joke from the movie. TLDR, execution matters.
Look, I don't know if this is some sort of new fetish one of the writers had while working on this episode, and I get that they didn't really utilize Squidward being an octopus and therefore being able to produce ink before, but is that the best you could come up with then?
I love when cartoon reviewers nowadays constantly try to use the fetish card to try to make an episode look worse than it actually is. Because squid ink is definitely a fetish. And if that was supposed to be a joke, then sorry, I'm not buying it due to your terrible delivery and the fact that you are from the cartoon community. I see people from this community say degenerate shit like that constantly, to the point whenever a reviewer says that type of shit, I legitimately cannot tell if they're joking or not. Now, some people might say, well, Megadupe or Professor Kuhtoons, whatever the fuck your stupid name is.
That moment when you forget your own username, but you're too lazy to retake your own lines.
That's not really a fair thing to say, because cartoon reviewers are different. And fair game. I understand that. It's not good to have, this guilt by association type thing. I understand that.
Which is why you used that retarded fallacy against my first video, right? You really suck at taking your own advice, just saying.
But I'm just being honest when I say I legitimately cannot tell if this was supposed to be like an actual point against the episode or just a joke. I really can't.
I can't believe that I thought this brain-dead sorry excuse for a point was good enough to skip over in my first commentary on this crappy video. First of all, you never go into any detail as to why Cosmodor is stupid for thinking squid ink is a fetish. And don't go saying,
Well, isn't it obvious?
because you are trying to convince him that this mentality is stupid. Shouldn't you actually try to prove him wrong? After all, that is the main point of commentaries and response videos in the first place. Second of all, you never say why his delivery is crap either. I agree with you that if it was a joke, it was poorly executed, but the execution was poor because his line delivery didn't change at all. And third of all, you used the guilt by association fallacy against him, only to later admit that the fallacy is dumb, rendering your guilt by association argument completely pointless. Now, using counter-arguments is an important part of composing an argument because it shows that you're taking into account other perspectives. But when you agree with the counter-argument that you presented and you don't even try to refute it, that just shows that you know your own point is flawed, but you kept it in your video anyway. This whole portion left me wondering whether you script your own videos or not. If you do not script your videos, then you are in desperate need of a script. But if you do script them, then there is no excuse for this kind of pointlessness. So congratulations, you wasted your time, my time, and everyone else's time. Gotta love those awkward pauses.
He himself has stated that his own jokes are not funny. So, I really don't have to say anything here.
Maybe Cosmodor did say his own jokes aren't funny, but you show no proof of this. You don't show any screenshots or clips from the video itself, so why should I believe you? Also, I'll be skipping again due to some points that I have no interest in covering.
The line at his lemonade stand got even bigger since, and so he gets a gigantic spider, which again is just kinda there.
Yeah, because nitpicking the episode on how illogical it is, even though it's fucking SpongeBob, is definitely the way to go.
Cosmodor said that it was
Just there.
which means that he thinks that the giant spider's inclusion was forced into the episode without any care or effort. That doesn't mean that he was upset about SpongeBob being illogical. It's not like he said,
Why is there a spider underwater? That makes no sense.
or something like that. Stop pointing out issues that aren't even there. Also, can I just say how beautiful it is that he gets onto Cosmodor's case for nitpicking, yet in the comment section of my previous commentary on this video, he nitpicks my pronunciation. Oh my god, that's freaking beautiful. Consistency really isn't your strong suit, is it? Because, wow, that's amazing. Just for that, I refuse to take the rest of this video seriously. He can't make me. The commentary is done.